America found itself in a particularly divided political state this election year. But in Utah, many of the residents and politicians claim things are different in their state, that there is a culture of compromise and compassion, even when the rest of the country can't seem to get along.
In Utah, we really do have kind of a sense of wanting to work together to try to focus on our shared interests and our policy objectives.
People try harder to know each other personally and develop relationships, and when you do that, then you break down a lot of barriers.
This state is overwhelmingly white, Republican, and dominated by a cultural conservatism inherited from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
People often say that Utah is conservative. I don't think that's accurate. Utah is a moralistic state.
At a time when so much in politics can seem hostile, that morality permeates into the state's politics.
There are levels of, the stability, this decorum that is unique to the culture of the state. I think it can be helpful in terms of running a whole legislative session.
That whole story.
But others, like former Democratic State Senator Jim DABAKIS, disagree.
The level of hostility and distrust and lack of respect is just as much in Utah as it is in New York. There is a facade, and it's a society of very passively aggressive people.
Well, sure, okay, maybe, but the facade is still important, right? To me, if it really is that way behind the facade, to me, it's still better to have the facade. And if you keep the facade long enough, then sometimes you can't tell if that's the real thing, right?
DABAKIS also says Utah's leadership has yet to catch up to the state's changing demographics.
You have a group of men that run the state that are incredibly homogeneous. It's like a step back to the 1950s, except Utah's not that way anymore.
If you're an ounce of difference at all, whether it's racially, politically, maybe you are a progressive feminist, whatever it is, you feel so different. Hamilton, say hi, Mommy. By the time Hamilton's 5, I think it's probably best that we move. But if all of us move, how does anything ever change?
Noreen Nasser, The Associated Press, Salt Lake City.